أهلا يا جماعة. We have a lesson today for you. بدنا نقدم درس كتير مفيد كتير مهم. This lesson today is the result of the answer to a lot of questions that students have. What is it about Arabic that we need to know? Well, the Arabic language is an old language, of course. It's an ancient language. But we're going to give you the secret of Arabic, the secret to really understand and be able to push forward in Arabic to get to higher levels. And that is the 10-form system. So the 10-form system is based on a triliteral root, okay? The triliteral root is 3 letters in the direction from the right to the left. These 3 letters, these are just an example, okay? But we're going to work on these particular letters, okay? The root is what we call in Arabic the jadr. Jadr is root. So you have here ayn, lam, mim. In this direction, ayn, lam, mim. Every root has what I call a root essence meaning. Root essence meaning. So the root essence meaning can be found usually where? In the Form 1 verb, which here is alima. Now, alima means he knew. He knew, past tense, masculine past tense, he knew. It doesn't mean he knew someone. It means specifically he knew some sort of information. So he knew information or data, okay? It's not a relationship, personal relationship, it is data, information. So with that in mind, we can come up or surmise what is the root essence meaning of this particular jadr, this root. Well, that would be knowledge or knowing information, okay? So keep that in the back of your mind. Now, how does that relate to the rest? So from this root in the 10-form system, you have 10 verb forms that this can find its way in one of those forms. The average root will find its way into about 5 forms, 5 to 6 forms. Okay, so not all the forms are used for every single root because but each form in those 10 forms has what's called, I call, a tendency of meaning. Tendency of meaning. So this is an engineered system. It's built from all the way, it goes way back to the Akkadians, which follow the Sumerians. The Sumerians are the first ones to actually write down, it's the first attested language we see in the world. Okay, this comes from Sumer, the Sumerians up in the northern part of Iraq, okay? The Akkadians took over and they brought in the triliteral root system. So they took the Sumerian language and their own language, which was already in the triliteral system, and they brought them together. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to understand something. These 3 letters, and it could be any 3 letters that forms a particular root, they have a root essence meaning, and from the root essence meaning you develop within the 10 forms, you can get multiple different meanings or unique meanings from that form. And we're going to see how that works now. So here we have from Form 1, he knew. Okay, he knew. The next word, we're going to see how many words can we form out of just one root. They all hang on it. So when we get through this entire thing here, you're going to see all these words coming from this one root, and they're predictable because it's an engineered language. All right. So here we have the noun. So this is the verb from Form 1 verb, and this is a noun from it called the masdar, and it's ilm. Ilm. Ilm means science or knowledge. Knowledge of what? Data. Learning knowledge. And then you have ulum, which is the plural from it. It's a broken plural from ilm, and that means sciences, okay, is the plural we would say, sciences. All right. The next, let's look at another word that comes from this root is ilmi. So ilm, if we take the put it on the end, what do we get? We get the adjective from it. So we have, instead of science, we have scientific. Okay, scientific. That's what that means. Next word is, and this is kind of stumped some people. This word here, alam, is a noun. Alam actually is coming from a second tendency of meaning, okay? So the first tendency of meaning was knowledge, remember? The second tendency of meaning for this one, and quite a few roots will have a second tendency of meaning. The second tendency of meaning for this particular root is marking, to mark, okay? To mark, all right? So alam actually means flag. Alam means flag, the flag of a country. And by the way, knowledge and this marking or flag has something to do, we'll see, with the both tendencies and meanings actually are connected in some way. We'll see that in just a minute. All right, so flag is alam. Alim goes back to the first tendency of meaning, and that is scholar or person of knowledge. Okay, alim. Ulama is the plural, the broken plural, meaning scholars or persons of knowledge. All right, next one, allame. Okay, allame is a particular way of forming the adjective. Usually it doesn't have a ta marbuta on it, but this one, it is just another way to get out a unique meaning. This is similar to alim, a man of knowledge, but it's more colloquial in the sense that it means someone who's really good at something, okay, or knows a lot about something. So you might say, يعني هو أحمد علامة بسواقة, or Ahmed علامة in a particular subject, whatever it may be. And it's usually going to be a subject that has to do with knowledge. This one here, alam, is the superlative or comparative. It can, if you make it definite, it's superlative, but it is a comparative, meaning more knowledge or more knowledgeable, has more knowledge. So this one we use quite often when we say Allahu alam, Allahu alam. So when you ask somebody something that they don't know, they might say Allahu alam, meaning only God knows, or God knows. But it literally means God is more knowledgeable. Yeah. All right. And you can also, it's used sometimes in Amiya too as well. Ma'lum is not much used in Amiya, but it's used a lot in Fusha, because we have a second verb we use instead of alima. We say irif. Irif means he knows, and irif can mean he knows someone or something, you know. But ma'lum is from ism al-maf'ul, and it means it's known. It's known. All right. So it's used more in Fusha, but that's what it means, and it's kind of a passive or reflexive of this particular root, or of form one. All right, the next one, alam. All right, now notice something here. Alam looks like alim, but alam means globe, okay, or world. So how do we get world from something that has to do with knowledge? Well, the connection is that in the ancient world, the people who had the most knowledge were the people who could gather that knowledge from sources based on their travels. So someone who travels a lot, like a merchant, would have more knowledge than someone in a landlocked in a small area of a village, a farmer in a village. And some of the most knowledgeable people were actually the guys who cut hair. Okay, so the halag was actually more knowledgeable or seemed to be, because he gathered knowledge from everybody else. So that's why alim is the person who travels, is the most knowledgeable, and that's why this is connected, okay? So, but it also comes from this idea of, a mark on a map or whatever, because we say alam is world, all right? And then we have this alame, which actually literally means mark, and it can be used for like a mark on your shirt, if you have a pin mark, or a mark. Sometimes they say alame is like a scar on someone's face, that could be, or like a grade. He got good marks this year, and alamat is the sound plural from mark, alame. Now we have alami. Alami, look at that. It goes back to this, similar to what we did with ilm and ilmi, and we basically are making an adjective from world or globe, and this means global, alami. Global is an adjective, alami. Now we have, this crazy, look how many words are coming from this. All of these words have this 3 root. These 3 letters in that triliteral root. And what happens is they just simply have certain rules and engineering that they do, adding this in or that in or whatever. And then they come up with a word that you can predict of what it would mean, knowing if you know that root essence meaning. All right. So ma'lume means something, an item which is known. What is that? It's a fact. Ma'lum is it's known. Ma'lume is the item which is known, which is a fact. Ma'lumat is the plural, sound plural from it. All right, next one is ma'lam. Ma'lam, this comes from the same form, we would say like a namat, if you will, which comes from madrasa, mahkame, hatta majlis. All these are maktabe or maktab. All these are nouns of place. Okay, ma'lam means landmark. So it could mean, like, for ma'lam of Paris is going to be what? The Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower is ma'lam. Okay, so, and it's kind of like a marked place, if you will, but ma'lam is the landmark for it. How do we say it in English? All right, next. Here is ta'lim. Okay, now we've moved on. All these came from one form 1 verb. All of them came from form 1 verb. Look at all that. All that from form 1 verb. Now we're coming into form 2, and we're going to go up. So this particular jadr, this particular triliteral root finds its way into how many forms? Into 4 forms. 4 of the 10 forms. This is the second form, ta'lim. Ta'lim is the masdar, kind of like ilm is the masdar from form 1. This is the masdar, or the noun, if you will, or gerund, from form 2. Okay? Form 2, there's a verb we'll see in a minute, but this is ta'lim, means education, teaching. And this one is basically giving knowledge. Okay? Giving knowledge, or passing along knowledge. Ta'limat, this has 2 plurals. Ta'limat, which is the teachings, okay, or excuse me, instructions. Ta'limat is instructions. So it could be for instructions for in a manual or whatever. Ta'alim, okay, ta'alim is teachings. And that's usually for a religious figure. So we might say ta'alim al-Masih, teachings of Christ, or ta'alim al-Nabi, teachings of the Prophet. All right, that's going to be spiritual usually. All right, next one is the actual verb, form 2 verb, allama. In Ami, we'd say just allam. Allam means he taught, or he made someone to know facts. That's what this is about, teaching. Okay, this means he taught. Past tense verb. Now we have right here ta'lim. See what we're doing, we added a yeah, now it's an adjective. This is going to be the way quite a few adjectives are created. Ta'limi means educational, okay? That's the adjective, educational, all right? And the next one, mu'allim. Mu'allim is ism al-fa'il, kind of like this is an ism al-fa'il from form 1, alim. This is ism al-fa'il from form 2. And this means one who makes someone to know information. What is that? A teacher. Teacher. So that means teacher. Next, a'lama. A'lama means to broadcast or give out, to inform. Okay? He informed. And this is where we get the word for media. We get that later, but this is the verb that's found on, to inform. He informed someone of something. I'lam means media, or to broadcast or give out, in a media form, okay, like radio, television. This is how we use that. I'lam is the media. Okay, and the next one we're going to take a look at is i'lami. I'lami, if you can see, it follows the same adjective. This is the way we form quite a few adjectives. This means it's the adjective media. So if you say a media personality, for example, هو شخص أو شخصية إعلامية, or you could say قنوات إعلامية. This is the adjective we would use, إعلامي, to describe media. So it's a descriptor for media, okay? Media person. All right, then now the next one we're moving to is, this was form 4, now this is form 5. So we have form 1, we have form 2, we have form 4, and we have form 5. That rounds up the last of the 4 that this particular jadr is used in. Outside of that, there aren't any. We don't use form 9 for this, we don't use form 10 for this, but you're going to find some others will use other forms in it, but most forms will use form 1, definitely, but not all of them even. So it just depends on the tentative meaning, what meanings you can get out. So each form has a tentative meaning, and then they're going to use the form with its adjectives and nouns from it. So ta'allama means he learned. What does it literally mean? He was made to know information, okay? Which literally, that's what it means, but we don't say that in English. We just say he learned, okay? Or he was educated, all right? He learned or was educated. Next one is the noun from it. Look what happened. One fatha became a damme, and now we have the noun. And this means education, or actually learning is what it means. This one, ta'lim, is education because it's educating people, and this one is learning, okay? Learning. And the last one, muta'allim, is a person who is learned, okay? So a person basically means a learned person or educated person, okay? He is educated. Muta'allim. Who muta'allim means he's educated. All right, so the question is, are all these words connected to one root essence meaning? The answer, yes, definitely. The system in Arabic, this system, you can't get to superior levels as a foreigner learning Arabic unless you know the system. My 101 book presents this in the introduction, and the entire book is flavored with this 10-form system. Now, if you want to go farther in Arabic and you want to get lessons, we do online study. Please contact us at CGE Jordan through cgjordan.com. We'll be glad to help you with that. We're going to be in the future offering classes that are already pre-recorded, and we'll have online classes as well. but we do online 1-to-1 and 2-to-1 classes right now. So if you're interested in that, let us know. And with that, we finished up our lesson today and on this idea of the Arabic root system. And you can just see how all this plays out. I literally have heard words that I've never heard before, and I knew the meaning. Why? Because I know the system, and you can know it too. So, inshallah, we'll see you next time. We'll have another lesson coming next week. See you then. Bye-bye.